Okay, I think we're live. Hey everybody, Crypto Trader Vader here. I don't know what that wave was, but it was a wave. And here for another Poloniex trading journal. I do these every week, every Thursday, and I go through pretty much all of the recognizable coins on Poloniex. It's about 50 coins on there. I do about 35. Maybe those numbers aren't quite right, but I do about 35 coins every week, the same ones, and you know, I call out what I think's going to happen, so that I can go back and look at these videos later and figure out where my, when my calls were right and what I was thinking at the time that my calls were right and where my calls were wrong. Ultimately, so I can get better and better at trading. Now, just bear with me one sec. Just need to turn this fan on, it's a little hot in here. Okie dokie. Well, let us begin. Let's change this to the 4-hour chart here. And move you over there. Move you over there. And move the chat there so I can see it. If you want to say anything or say hello, you're welcome to type in the chat, and maybe I can check out a coin for you if you like. Anyway, let's get into it. So, ADA first of all. What did I say last week? If greater than 3470, we might have a bull run. 3470, that's this line here, and it definitely broke above that and had a nice bull run. So what I've been doing lately is I've been looking at these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations, and I've been taking this little arrow do-what's it, and I've been smashing that from the bottom of the solid candle at the 1. I've been dragging it all the way to the 2, and then copy pasting that exact arrow, and then placing it over here where the breakout is, and I get a bit of an indication as to how high the breakout might go. So and that's where I tend to place my sell orders, right around the top of this arrow. So it went a bit beyond that. So I would have, if I would have traded this one, I would have missed out on some profit there. However, still would have made profit. So no. So what do I think is going to happen now? Well, I think the altcoins are really potentially, they're at this juncture where they may be turning around for the medium to long term. And we can see if we take a further look at the ADA chart as an example, and we look at the daily candles here. So this is, get this annoying thing out of the way. This is the daily candles for ADA versus Bitcoin, and you can see that since pretty much the start of 2018 it's been declining, and now of course it's getting this point where it's possibly starting to say hey-oh in the price. You can see this giant kind of bowl forming. That's a terrible drawing. Let's try that one more time, a little deeper, and now it's starting to come back up. So this is the point really that altcoins are presenting their best opportunity for buys. And of course nothing's guaranteed. It could just do this, and it could very well do that. However, generally speaking, when we see that bowl forming, it happened here, we have a bit of a run up pending. And of course in this instance from 2017 June, we had it fall down, form this kind of bowl, start to lift back up, and then ultimately fail and had to form a second time around. But the reason we look in the, well, for me personally, I look in the longer term view for this kind of bowl formation, because it allows me to zoom right in then to a 4-hour chart, and if we go back here to this kind of bowl formation, we can see a 1, a 2, a 3, and then kind of a breakout above that, or tried to break out several times and eventually did break out and go skyward. And that's when the real monies were made, in when the price is, you know, doubling, here you go, tripling over the course of 2 or 3 months. So there's definitely a opportunity, and whether that time is exactly now or whether it is in a few more months, only time will tell. But I'm excited to see what happens with the market. It looks as though ADA has broken out and will probably come back and turn around somewhere close to this mark here. Oh, that's a bad drawing. I'm having bad drawing times today. Probably kind of turn around this mark and head upwards. That's my thought on that. And that's just because, generally speaking, that something I've noticed with these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations is that when we have a breakout above this 2 mark, we often see the price come back down and kind of touch the 2. And so we've had that here where it's broken right up and now it's come back, and it might kind of scrape this 3400 mark before heading upward again. So I am bullish on that. Bullish. Actually, I'll say here we'll stay above 3400. And I'm going to pop a star there because there's an opportunity here for, if there's a nice bounce off of this 3400 mark with a candle and then another solid candle starting to go upwards, might be an opportunity to buy there. I'll keep an eye on that anyway. That's the wrong green. That's the right green. Alright, Bitcoin Cash. Thanks for joining, whoever's watching live. Appreciate it. Hello. Bitcoin Cash has just gone down, hasn't it? I really thought that this kind of turnaround, this 1, 2, 3 bottom, was the point for Bitcoin Cash, but it looks instead to have failed to break out above this 2 and has declined rapidly. It needs to form a new... I'll put bearish until next week on that one. That'll probably be one that we see quite a lot of tonight. A lot of these coins, I think, are still heading south and still trying to find the bottom, but some of them have thoroughly found it, in my opinion. That line, let's get that down here. So here we have another 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. I'm going to move this 1, 2, 3 here. Let's move them. Reusing, I'm recycling these previous 1, 2, 3 signals where they failed, and it's important to recycle, guys. So we have 1, 2, 3 bottom forming here. So what we want to do is take this mark where it's kind of down at this point, at the start of this 1, lift it all the way until the 2. Let's mark out the 2 with a line. Let's delete this middle line here. And then grab this arrow, copy paste that, and let's see how high it could possibly go if it does break out. And then I usually like to mark the top of this arrow, and then I'll look left to see where the previous points of resistance were. And they were pretty much a little lower, probably around that mark, 1, 2, 3 touches there. So I would place my sell order right around 4,000 or so, right around here, if the price were to break out above this mark. So that leaves kind of this gap here. Of course, I'm not doing that for black coin. I've already purchased some black coin with a higher risk move down here in my Bitshares account for my 0.2 to 1 Bitcoin journey that I'm on. I've got to do another update on that, by the way. Sorry I haven't been updating that video. Just not much has happened. It's still sitting at 0.205 or so, and I haven't been super active with the trades. However, I will be getting back into that and providing an update tomorrow. Black coin, what's going to happen with you, buddy? Bearish to just under 2,800 sats is what I said last week. And I was wrong. Not sure on that one. Pop a cheeky watch on it, and we'll take a look at that one next week. Bitshares. It's a black mark on me. Oh, Bitshares looks awesome. Bloody hell. That looks great. See how perfectly this worked? Look at this. So we've got the 1, 2, 3 bottom forming. It just shot up, broke out above it. And then this consolidation period, you can see it's like deciding whether it's going to be going down or whether it's going to be staying up. And the minute that we get confirmation of, you know, a few different, well, quite a number of candles where it just can't get below that support level again, then the market's like, alright, you win, bulls, let's go higher. And then of course hit this resistance point up here. It's really interesting to watch this stuff. So I mean, look at that. Doesn't that look like it's turning around? Doesn't that look like it's the beginning of the bull market for Bitshares? If you've got a longer term view, now is definitely the time to be taking up buying positions in a lot of these different coins. Whereas if you're trading, you want to be looking obviously for more slowed down opportunities like I am. But still, Bitshares looks great. And if it can get above this 2260 level, we might be looking at a nice higher level equals bull run. Alrighty. Let's have a look at clams. What did I say last week? Bearish until next week, and that was on the 29th of March. That was right around here. Bearish until next week. Well, it's pretty much the same. Although it does look to be forming these little higher lows. So we have, well, that's not completely accurate. Each time it's come down, it's kind of stayed above a different price. It really does need to break out above this 47 sats mark for it to possibly turn around. Of course, clams has been in a bear market for a long time, and you know, it's proven that it can get up to these sort of levels. So with the right enthusiasm and the right technical signals, we might get a nice turnaround in clams. Actually, really, we need to stay above 47,600 or so to get that one working. Oops, that's the less than symbol. 47,600 sats equals bull run. Man, I would love a bull run in clams. I hold some clams for the longer term, and it's always nice when they're worth a little more. Civic now. Again, very similar situation, very similar chart patterns. You're seeing the patterns here, 1, 2, 3. This is what I drew out last week, of course, but really the, where was I, the 29th, right around here. It's dipped down a little bit, it's pretty much around the same area. That 3's gone a little lower, but hasn't broken with a solid candle below this 3, so let's make that the new 3 here. And we need a break above, solid candle above 3200 sats, and we're good with Civic. I'm really buying up positions now with my 0.2 to 1 Bitcoin journey. And if I can prove to myself that I can take 0.2 Bitcoin and I can turn it into 1 Bitcoin, I will be confident to trade with larger amounts of money and try and do that as a full-time gig. But until I can successfully do that, I'm not going to be trading with larger amounts. It's just, I'm too risk averse to do that. What do you guys think is going to happen? I'm curious, because I'm always curious to hear about yeah, your opinions. What is going to happen with particular coins? Is there a particular coin that you're like, oh, this one is definitely, you know, at a turnaround point, or is this one, you know, what's going up, what's going down? Tell me so I can get a different perspective. That, if you squint, looks almost like a Head and Shoulders in Dash, doesn't it? Let's draw that out just for funsies. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Doesn't that? Look at that. Although that right shoulder's a little shoddy. Dashcoin, what will you do? See, if you look at a Head and Shoulder, and you're like, well, that marks a turnaround point in the market, the Head and Shoulder is really the same as a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, right? It's just with a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, you're kind of opening yourself up to only seeing the last half of the Head and Shoulder and giving that a bit more steam and not really worrying about the left shoulder. Who cares about the left shoulder? So if we're seeing this 1, 2, 3 bottom forming in Dashcoin, and we say, well, it needs to break out above this 2 mark here to really give us a turnaround. Maybe we need a break above 0.046 to get Dash happening again. 0.046 equals a bull run. That would be sweet, right? Having Dashcoin pumping back up. Although I do like to, one of the pairs that I like to trade every so often is the Dash Manero pair. That used to be one of my favorite pairs to jump in there and do some trading on, because I like Manero coin long term, and Dash is just a very interesting coin. It's essentially, I've said this before on these streams, but Dashcoin is like, you can look at it and say, well, there's 7 million coins, but because you need 1,000 Dash to hold a masternode, you can really just look at it as 7,000 lots of 1,000 Dash, which equals 7,000 masternodes. So it's very rare. It's a high cap coin, and it's got masternodes, so it has a unique proposition. But of course, like, fundamentally, people have to be using it, right? People have to be using it as either a store of value or as a currency even, for it to present value. So this might be the turnaround point. I'm going to delete this Head and Shoulders now. And if we get a break above that, we might see something better. So let's move on to Decred. By the way, in case you haven't realized, you can jump and scrub through the video if you're watching the recording, and just catch whatever coin you want, because I'll mark it green on the left there as we go along. Wow, is this, if you squint, you can see kind of a 1, 2, 3 bottom forming, like heaps extreme one. Look at that. Look how low that 3 is. I mean, how high that 3 is. That's nice, and it's breaking above. Decred, let's have a look here. Decred point, what, 630? Let's say 638. 638 is breaking out right now. Greater than 638k sats equals bull run. So really, if you can see, the price right now is breaking out for Decred. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, very high bottom. The volume's not quite there, so I'm not super confident on it. But if we can essentially have these candles close above this mark and then a new one start in the right direction, it might be an opportunity to make some money on Decred. So I'm going to mark that here in my action column to check out later on and possibly do a trade on. Let's have a look at where it might end though, because that's always the key, right? Who cares if it goes up if you can't predict where the hell to cash out? So we take the point from the 1, we move it up to the 2, we copy paste that, and then we move that arrow so that the bottom of it is now touching the 2 line. And we get a bit of an indication. The top of the arrow, we take the top of the arrow, we look all the way left, and we see where the previous resistance points were around there. And that's kind of this yellow line that I've already marked out. And so my sell order would be right around kind of here, this area, in this square somewhere. Let's make it green for profit. So, but yeah, again, Decred would really have to prove itself in staying above this mark. I'm just like, I'm excited about it, but at the same time I'm also cautious. So I'm going to check in on that one a bit later on. Actually, we've got 3 hours on that candle left, so well, we'll have to see what happens next week. Well, I'm going to check it tomorrow, but you guys can too. Dogecoin. What do we got? Smash all the way down. Just keeps going down, Dogecoin. But it looks like it's kind of consolidating here, but I'm very wary. I don't know why, but I've just seen Doge. I think it's because I've seen Doge go so much lower. And if it's stopping at kind of 39 sats and now turning around, I don't know. I'm not sure. Might be heading lower. Really, it needs to break out above 43 sats. If it can get up above 43 sats, we might have a chance of a bit of a turnaround there, which for Dogecoin looks like it'll probably be another bubble. Last week I did say I was generally bearish on it. Kind of maintain that, to be honest. It needs to get above 43. I don't think it will. Ethereum. Hitting this support line. It's hit it 3 times. Couple of little needles beneath it, or wicks beneath it. I don't think that's going up. Although I've been wrong many times. See, it's kind of breaking out above this trend line now, so that's, I don't know. The stock RSI is telling us that it's overbought. So I would say that's probably confirmation that it's heading south, but yeah, who knows? That one is a mystery, a solid mystery. Nice. Expanse coin now. No, that's trash. Look at that. It's going down. Bearish until next week. I'll pop that in there. Factum now. Let's get rid of some of these old drawings. Clean it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation in Factum. I thought this was it for Factum. But still needs to break out above, what, 320k sats to really give us some confirmation that it's gone up. Folding coin now. Getting through these pretty quick, these middle ones. If there's any coins you want me to check out, let me know and I'll hit it up. No, that's not really 1, 2, 3, is it? And back here, let's delete some of these old drawings. Let's delete some of these bad boys too. Yeah, no, I don't know about folding coin. I'll have to watch that. It's just that that 1, 2, 3. It's not really forming well. It hasn't really formed yet, so we'll have to wait and see. Let's move on to game credits. This is a better one. You can see from last week the 1, 2, 3 has been drawn out. And I think I pointed this out last week, but look at the amount of bullish pressure that is on this line. There's a lot of people that are buying game credits. Maybe because they're playing, maybe they're gambling with it or something. Probably just investing with it. So game credits, I mean, it's resting on this 3 line, but it really needs to break out above the 17k sats. So I can see that I said that exactly the same last week, so I'm copying and pasting that. Needs to break out above 17k sats, or else it's not looking good. Gnosis. Generally bearish last week. How wrong I was. That was on the 29th. That was around here. Well, it's pretty much the same price. But it does look to be turning around now. 1, 2, 3, kind of a tiny 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Really, we need to wait and let that play out a little more before I'll buy anything there. GNT, I remember looking at this one earlier and thinking it's got a nice 1, 2, 3 bottom, a breakout, and then coming back and breaking beneath that 2 mark again. It's got support, that's for sure. It's got some support here, where it first failed to break beneath. GNT. What did I say last week? It needs to break above 33 to yeah, it did. And it, well, it didn't break out above it, and it didn't go higher. God damn it. I hate putting watches on things because I like to make calls on most coins that I can. The most coins I can, but yeah, Mitch, I'll check out Dragonchain, bro. Thanks, man. I'll just finish up this library credits, and then I'll jump across to Dragonchain. Library credits. It's breaking my heart. See these this formation, it's not really a solid 1, 2, 3. So that one gets another watch. Let's just jump in here and have a look at Dragonchain. Now if I take that off and we do DR. It's on hit BTC. Is that Dragon? No, this is Dragon here. Yeah, the only bad thing with Dragonchain that I'm seeing is that the Qcoin doesn't have a huge history, so I'm only going back until just the start of the year, essentially, for Qcoin. But what do we got, man? Look at this. What do we have here? We have a 1, 2, 3 bottom forming. We have this 2 line kind of really trying to break out. Really needs to stay above this kind of line. Needs to stay above this, what, 10k? 10,800 Satoshi. For it to go higher and, you know, break below this kind of 3 line, so anything below maybe 8,000 sats might be leading to trouble. But let's have a look. Let's hypothetically say it does kind of re-break up above this line and stay there. Where will it be going, and where would be a good place where I personally would take some profits? Right there, and then we take the top of this arrow, which is around 1400 sats, and we look left and we see where the resistance points are against the top of this arrow, which is pretty much dead on the top of the arrow there. So if it was to break up above this line again and give us a couple more green candles, maybe 1 green candle and then a move up, it might be worth the risk. But also if you're maybe a bit more risk savvy, you might consider buying now and just taking the chance that it might go lower. Of course, you'd be copping a loss if it heads down south, but That's where I'd be looking at taking profits, I reckon, with Dragon, which is a good, what, 30 to 40% chance. So it's decent. It might be worth a shot, man. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Let's get back to Poloniex and let's get back to Lisk. We have the start of a 1, 2, 3 bottom forming here. So really, if the price can kind of turn around at this point and just go straight back up, we might be in luck. I don't see that happening. I'm not super optimistic about that, but if it does happen, awesome. Just I'll put that in the notes here. It needs to break above about 140k sats to really get up there. Hey, nice, man. Yeah, good spotting. Yeah, you must have been practicing your 1, 2, 3 bottoms, because it's definitely there. It's just whether that has... I mean, ideally, of course, when we look for a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, we look at a couple of confirmations, and that can be, you know, maybe the EMAs crossing over. I've got my EMAs set to 60 and 20, but you can set them to whatever you think works, and then you might look for a confirmation in the stock RSI or maybe just in the regular RSI indicators to kind of show whether something's oversold or overbought. Right now, something's Lisk is oversold, right? So we have a 1, 2, 3 bottom forming, and right around this 3 mark, right down here, you can see that it's kind of oversold. It's beneath this 20 level. It's beneath this purple zone. So this is just a confirmation that pressure is building, that market pressures are building to move the price back upwards. And so that might be, you know, one more tick box to mark off and say, hang on, it might be going up. But of course, you want to have a couple of these aligned in order to have some confidence behind the trade. And then even if you have all of them lined up, the market can still go against you, and that's why you have to be very ready, stops in place to stop out as quickly as possible if you're not proven correct. Moving on to Litecoin LTC. Ooh, you seeing that? I'm just going to delete these old 1, 2, 3 bottom formations. Oh shit, I said before I was going to recycle. My bad. So we can count that as a 2, right? But also we can look and say, hang on, that's a 2. So we have this new 3 mark, and this old 3 mark back here. Really we need a break above kind of this level here, 18.018 for Litecoin to go back up. 0.018. Bull run. Right on. Navcoin. What have I done with all these arrows? What did I say last week? See blue arrows. Yeah, well, I'm confused as hell by these blue arrows. I'll have to go back and look at that video, but it looks like I probably said that it's likely going to drift along this line and then either go down or break out above, and it didn't do either of those really. I mean, it kind of continued downward, but really it's just hovering, it's moving along. It's not making any big moves at the moment, which I guess is somewhat a good sign if we can get some kind of calming of the waters before an additional pump up. We might have some decent volume pick up the price a little bit. I'm not really sure though. Really, I mean, nothing has changed in the fact that we need to get above 14k sats to really see a move there. Alrighty, OMG. Got lots of old drawings here. I'll get rid of some of them. So really, this is kind of a 1, 2, 3 bottom forming, but not really. It's kind of like a double bottom almost. And then if we zoom in a little closer, we can see the 1, 2, 3 is forming at a more shortened level, at a more, I don't know, slowed down level, I guess. 1, 2, 3 here. So really, the breakout becomes, can we get above 128k sats? And if so, you buy at the breakout and possibly make some money. Let's move on to rep. New lows, not good. It's definitely in a consolidation period now. We'd need the price really to kind of give us some stronger formations, kind of head upwards, you know, consolidate, and then ultimately break out above this 427k sats or something, but doesn't look like it's doing that anytime soon. Looks like it's just going to continue to consolidate. I'll put a watch on it. We'll have a look at that next week. Sia coin. 1, 2, 3 bottom, breakout above that, resting on this 2 line, ultimately went back down, failed to go beneath this 3. What does that mean? It means that the market's not really adhering to my lines, but it's really not, it's quite undecided, isn't it? Ultimately, though, it hasn't been reaching new lows, which is a positive sign for Sia coin. I guess this is probably one of the first ones that I was right on last week, where the price has gone a little bit down. Bearish is what I said last week, generally bearish. Sorry, another watch going on that. Steam had a smashing couple of days. Anything above 10, what did I say? Generally bearish. Well, that was wrong. 29th, that was there. It did go down, but ultimately bounced very, very strongly off this low support of 19k sats. Excuse me. And now it's thinking about what it's going to be doing. Yeah, that's a hard one. I can't even type properly. Now I think from memory, Storch coin had a very similar spike up to Steam. Yeah, there you go, look at that. And last week I said if it's 10k sats or above equals a bull move. It did go straight above 10k sats. Look at that, rocketing up. You know, that's a situation where you're very lucky if you're going to be buying the breakout, because there's not multiple candles there. So you really, it's hard. It's hard to catch that breakout, because if it's pumping up, you want to be waiting for a second or a third candle to kind of get confirmation on that trend break. Well, I do anyway. And when that doesn't happen, of course, it's tough. But look at this. It has bounced very nicely off the support, off this 10k support line, which is beautiful. That's a bullish sign for Storch. 1, 2, 3. You know, there might be an opportunity to buy down here, given that it's bouncing off this support. You know what? I'm going to put on here, I think it's probably a first, bullish until next week. I reckon that from 10k, that one's going to be moving probably in a northerly direction. Alright, what's this one? STR. Stellar Lumens. Also XLM on pretty much every other platform. Let's delete these old ones. 1, 2, 3. Breakout above. Now resting, coming back down. And I think that the recent bearish move from Bitcoin spooks the market a little bit and does kind of create these these bearish moves in altcoins as people are cashing out alts so they can get their Bitcoin out and leave crypto for good. And of course I hope that's not the case, but I think that some people do get scared off, especially losing a bunch of money in the course of the last couple of months. It's been tough, but if you're hanging in there like I am, I think you're going to be rewarded, because there is a bull market coming, and it always comes when everyone else thinks it's not coming. That is a weird consolidation that I'm going to put a watch on. STR bullish until next week, and VTC had a big day today, I saw, and it's come crashing back down to earth, but it is kind of resting on this 2 line. So, whoa, that's a bit low. Let's move that one there. So it's right kind of there, right on the 2 there. It's kind of a double bottom, really, isn't it? In my experience, double bottoms are a lot rarer than 1, 2, 3 bottom formations. But that is a classic fake out breakout, and it's caused by either a pump group is pumping Vertcoin, or people get way too excited as they see a breakout, or there's some news that comes out that, of an exchange or something, a new exchange listing. Ultimately, the same thing generally happens with those exchange listings. It goes up and then it goes down when people realize, well, it doesn't really make a huge difference on the price. Ultimately, if a coin, like take for example Syscoin, right? Syscoin is listed on a bunch of exchanges. It's high volume. It's got a good strong fundamentals, and it was announced that it was going to be put onto Binance, and it gets pumped. The price goes up because people are thinking, well, I don't know. I don't think people are the majority of people are thinking this through this way, but I think the general market is thinking, well, it means fresh money's coming into Syscoin, and it means it's a bit of a confirmation that it's got strong fundamentals because a new exchange is listing it. But ultimately, that new demand for the coin takes weeks, months, possibly even years to develop. And so really, maybe not years, but definitely weeks. So the fact that the coin price pumps immediately with some exchange announcement, some new exchange listing, it strikes me as really strange, because if those people really wanted Syscoin, they'd probably just go and buy it on Poloniex or Bitshares. It's not, I don't think there's any person out there, well, there's very few traders out there that are exclusively on one platform and will only trade the coins on that platform, will, not look into the fundamentals of other coins and buy them if they really like it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, I got caught up in that one. XCP, did we already look at this one? Not yet. 1, 2, 3, bottom formation here. This is the 3 line. That's the 2 line. And we need a break really above 178k sats to make that bad boy work. Is that the great? What? Have I been using the wrong symbol? Oh my god. Greater. I'm fixing it. I'm fixing it. How dare I use the less than symbol when I mean the greater than symbol? We really need greater than 178k sats for a bull move. So I'm going to look at these because there's a lot of kind of possible bull moves here, so I'll be keeping an eye on these ones, in particular ones that I've asterisked, and be revisiting them in the coming days to see if I can make some money on them. Manero, oh beautiful, look at that. Nice 1, 2, 3 bottom forming. Strong one, volume. Needs a break above 0.0258 really. 0.0258 equals a bull run. The actual right symbol this time. XPM now. Wow, I love how XPM is like bucking the trend of all the other altcoins and it's like just going up. This is great, man. It's a bit like Manero in that way. It's continued to go up regardless. Nothing's really changed in the long-term view though. It really needs to, if it's not going to break above 10k sats, it's not going to continue up. Simple. And it keeps getting stopped quite short of the big psychological 10k barrier, about 99.30 sats or so. Greater than 99.30 sats equals a bull run. Alright, and the last couple of coins here. If there is any other ones that you want me to check out, chuck it in the chat, because I've got a bit more time if you want. Or put a comment down, and I'll check it out. Ripple. What's happening with Ripple? Just a big crash and burn. It continues. See, it doesn't look like the price decline is slowing. There's no doubt about that, right? It's kind of bending, but you know, it's probably still got some ways to go with its bearish move. I think so. I'm gonna put down bearish until next week. That said, like when these coins turn around, I don't think it's gonna be a gentle turnaround. Like I don't think it's gonna go lovely slow bowl, lovely creep up. It's probably more going to be like slow bowl. Okay, it's over. Great. Let's go higher again. Zcash. Trump coin. Jesus. Derek Obama. I'll have a look. Just for funsies. So we have a little bit of a rise up in Zcash, but that's like a ripple in the huge torrential waterfall of bearish moves. So that one is technically a 1, 2, 3 bottom. I mean, it's there, right? Yeah, as much as I don't like it, it's part of the rules. If you see the right formation, you gotta investigate it and you gotta keep an eye on it. That's just how it is. So, Zcash, you win this time. I'll look at you. I'll look at you with a gleam in my eye. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. We really need to push above 0.0277. A push above that's a less than sign. Good one. 0.0277 equals bull run. That is the set. I'm saving that. Let's have a look at Trump coin. I don't even know if I can find it here. Sure I can. Trump BTC on Cryptopia. I believe that is the definition of a shitcoin. A continuous slow decline that will only ever be good for fodder, for pump and dump groups. Don't buy any Trump coin. By the looks of things, it's trash and it's not making any moves. There's not enough volume. Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong exchange. Let's have a look at a different exchange. Yep, no volume there either. What about live? No volume there. Finally, Yobit. No volume there. Sorry, Derek. Trump coin sucks. Hey, I'm excited to read about the Facebook competition update, man. So I'll check that out after this. That little comp is fun. Let's just, before I go, I just want to quickly have a look at Syscoin, because that's another one that sometimes pops up here. I don't have it in my my other ones. Yeah. Shit coins. Straya coin, yeah, man. Garlic coin, and you know, they do surprisingly well at the start because there's a buzz. There's a buzz about them, but ultimately they do fail. And I mean, I've got a handful of Straya coins. I think I've got the wallet here on my mobile. Let me see if I can find it. How many Straya coins I've got? Oh, wow, I got $8 worth of Straya coins. I got 100 of them. So yeah, if that one moons, let me know, and I'll be sure to get rid of them. They were given to me by a friend. So Syscoin has been hitting this kind of almost 7,000 sats mark for ages. It's hit it many times, and ultimately, because it couldn't break out, the market's decided, well, the bulls have kind of lost this round, and so it's losing ground for sure. We'll have to keep an eye on that one to see what happens. Did have a pump recently, but ultimately come back down to earth. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and if there's any other coins or anything like that you want me to check out, let me know. I'm going to provide an update on the 0.2 to 1 Bitcoin journey. I'll post that tomorrow, I reckon, and yeah, it's not super exciting because it's pretty much still around the 0.205 mark, so it hasn't moved much. But I think with the altcoin market kind of starting to turn around now, we're going to be seeing that growing a little faster. I'm pretty confident that I can do it. It's just going to take some time. All right, peace out, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Ciao.